Hi guys, welcome or welcome back. I have my fall book haul for you today. I'm so excited. A little bit of a disclaimer, I am not a huge fall person. I love summer, that is definitely my favorite season, and I love Christmas, but that in-between time is really not my favorite. But I made it a goal this year to really embrace the season and try to romanticize it a little bit, and part of that is with fall books. And of course I went way overboard because I have a problem when it comes to buying books. So I'm going to show you what I bought. I have 9 books to show you, and then I actually just read one that I'm going to do a little review on after I finish this video, so you'll see that next. But without further ado, let's get into my fall book haul. I have a mix of fantasy, romance, and then one mystery, and most of them are very autumnal themed and they have really cute fall covers. The first book I have is Cat Dragon by Samantha Birch. I knew I was gonna buy this book just by the title, and then I saw the cover and then I saw what it was about and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cute. I think like every other fantasy reader right now, I'm obsessed with dragons, and a cat dragon, I should just show you this cover. Look at that cat dragon, I cannot. And then the sweet little witch on there. So this book takes place in Tangleroot Valley, which is a whimsical world, and apparently every witch has her cat dragon as her little magical sidekick, but I think you say it, Aloysia Papelwick, she does not have one yet. This book, it just seems so perfect for the season. She has a magical farm, she has prattling pumpkin patch meddling in her life, and she's preparing for the annual harvest festival. I'm so excited. I think this book is going to be so cute, and we get a little bit of a romance here, which we find out is her best friend's brother, and I'm so excited. The next book I have, this is my one mystery that I bought. This is Old Money by Kelsey Miller. I'm not a huge mystery reader, but I do like a mystery book occasionally. I think it's really good to get out of a slump with a mystery book, and so I have this one. This is going to be a book club pick for our bookstore in November. I went ahead and picked it up because it released recently. This is about a country club where a 16-year-old named Caitlin dies unexpectedly on the 4th of July. It says, they say she slipped by the pool, a tragic accident, but her cousin Alice knows the truth. Caitlin was murdered and Alice saw who did it. So Alice returns to the country club where Caitlin died 20 years later, and she's trying to prove her death was a murder and not an accident. Apparently there's a lot of social rivalry in the country club, and it's just gonna be interesting. I like the premise of it. I thought the cover was really intriguing with the fireworks up top, so one mystery pick for the season. The next book I have is Falling Like Leaves by Misty Wilson. I could not get this book because of the adorable cover, and then it has the cutest burgundy leaves, sprayed edges. I just thought it was so cute. So this book is about our main character Ellis. She lives in Manhattan, but her senior year of high school she has to move to Bramble Falls, Connecticut, and it's not what she wants to do. She doesn't want to leave her friends, and she starts trying to build her life in this small town, and it's very quintessential. The town is preparing for the Falling Leaves Festival, which is coincidentally planned by her aunt, and so Ellis gets roped into helping plan the fall festival. There's also a local barista named Cooper who may or may not catch Ellis's eye. This is YA, so it's a young adult book, but I just think it's going to be really cute. A really cute little fall romance, and I'm so excited for it. This is another cozy fantasy. This one is called Uncharmed by Lucy Jane Wood. This is actually the second book in a interconnected standalone series. So the first one is called Rewitched, but this is the second one. I don't think I'm gonna read Rewitched. I didn't like the premise of that one as much as I do this one. I don't think it matters if you read one and not the other, so I am just gonna stick with this one. But this was another one that the cover was just too cute that I had to buy it no matter what the story was about, but I think I'm gonna actually like the story too. Autumn trees and her in her little pink dress and pink heels, and then the cat with the pink bow. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for this book. So our main character's name is Annie. She is the perfect witch. She is sugar, spice, and everything nice, and she is very type A. She has finally curated each and every part of her life to look perfect from the outside, but on the inside she's actually a very lonely girl, and she gets tasked with becoming the mentor to a newly orphaned teenage witch who's kind of coming into her powers. And so her and the teenage witch move into this cottage together where Annie's supposed to teach her about her magic and being part of the coven and all that, but it turns out that the house that was supposed to be unoccupied. The owner comes back early and he is a grumpy but very handsome warlock, and so of course romance ensues, and I think it's gonna be a really, really cute, cozy fantasy, and I just can't with this cover. It's so perfect. The next book I have might be the most beautiful book that I own. This is Thorn Season by Kira Azar. This has the most perfect sprayed edges and cover design that I've ever seen. So the cover is pink, obviously my favorite. The sprayed edges are so beautiful. So as you can see, it has this really beautiful tree and kind of like the entrance to a garden looking sprayed edges. It looks like it's been painted on the book, like someone actually freehanded this. And what's even better is that the sprayed edges go into the inside flap, and so you get the full scene on the inside flap. It's just beautiful. Like, I just can't even deal with how pretty this book is. And then the actual book itself is this really pretty embossed cover with rose gold details. It's just the most beautiful book ever. I don't even remember how I found this book. I hadn't seen anything about it on social media. I might have just found it when I was ordering books for the store, and when it came in, I was just like, what is this beautiful thing? I've never heard of it. I've never seen anything about it, but I must read it immediately. I think it might be young adult as well, but it is a fantasy, and there's not a whole lot about the story on the inside flap. We go into the book only knowing that there is an heiress who possesses an illegal magic, and she is thrown into the royal court where she has to hide her magic, and there are two handsome suitors who might be her salvation or her ruin. Ooh! So I'm kind of going into this blind, but I'm excited about it. I'm excited to see what kind of magic is in this, and if the description and like the language in this book is as pretty as the book itself is, I think this might be one of my favorites. So this book that I picked up is kind of outside of my comfort zone when it comes to reading, but I just thought it sounded so interesting. This is called A Philosophy of Thieves by Fran Wilde. This has a very interesting concept. So it blends fantastic glamour with gritty fantasy in this techno-thriller heist about capitalism and climate on a futuristic Earth for fans of Leverage, Parasite, and Six of Crows. I don't know what Leverage or Parasite is, but I did enjoy Six of Crows, and so I am gonna give this one a try. Maybe it's a little bit dystopian and also maybe a little bit fantasy, but then it also says techno thriller. I don't know what a techno thriller is. It follows this performing group called the Canarviers maybe, and they are performance thieves, and so they do these shows where they do these insane heists, and they're actually all the sons and daughters of King Carnarvier, and so they kind of do these things and they entertain the kingdom or the world's patrons, and something happens where the king goes missing. It says, with only days to buy mercy before their father is lost forever, Rue and Dax must compete in a high-stakes grand heist, pushing down their resentments to work together. Rue and Dax are siblings. It says, against a technocrat wagering more than he can lose, a security chief with a taste for pain, and a society beauty with secrets of her own, any misstep promises catastrophic ruin. So, I don't really know. I'm excited about it. It's very outside of what I normally read, but I think it's going to be an interesting one. Okay, I have If It Makes You Happy by Julie Olivia. This book is a retelling of Gilmore Girls, I think, or at least it kind of has to do with Gilmore Girls. I mean, as you can tell from the cover, it is very Stars Hollow-esque with the gazebo, and then I'm guessing this is Lorelai and Luke. So this book is set in 1997 in a small town in Vermont, which, hello, that's so cute. I love that it's set in the 90s. My next door neighbor Cliff seems to have everything figured out. Small town golden boy, check. Single dad extraordinaire, check. Hot bicker forearms, I didn't notice them, I swear. Me, on the other hand, don't at all have anything figured out. Trust me, I don't think taking over my mom's dream bed and breakfast in Copper Run, Vermont was going to be easy, but it should be a good place to heal after my divorce. But apparently my scones belong in the garbage along with my small talk skills, as pointed out by none other than Cliff. So it's kind of Gilmore Girls-esque. He's a baker, she runs an inn. It sounds like it's gonna be kind of a grumpy sunshine situation. I just think it's gonna be a really cute, hopefully nostalgic book. I hope it feels like the way that Gilmore Girls feels, just with that perfect autumnal nostalgia. Alright, last two I have are both fantasies. This one is another cozy fantasy. This one is called A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping by Sangu Madonna. We have sold so many of these at the store. I think everyone is just really excited about this book. I love that it's so short. I think it's only 300 pages, and I'm hoping that'll be a quick one to get through. So our main character is Sarah. She's obviously a witch. She is one of the most powerful witches in Britain until she resurrected her great aunt Jasmine from the very recently dead, lost most of her magic, befriended a semi-villainous talking fox, and was exiled from her guild. Now she helps her aunt run an enchanted inn, and she's pretty unhappy with her life. She wants to get her powers back, and she finds out about an old spell that could hold the key to restoring her power. Enter Luke Larson, a handsome and icy magical historian who arrives on a dark autumn evening and just might know how to unlock the spell's secrets. So I think they start working together to try to bring her power back and potentially fall in love in the process. And I think it could be a really cute one. It sounds very quirky with the talking fox and the inn and the magical historian, and I'm excited about this one. And last but not least, I bought myself a copy of Callie Hart's Quicksilver. I've had this on my list for so long. Honestly, I think the old cover was kind of throwing me off because it didn't look like something that I would want to read. It looked honestly a lot like the old fantasy covers used to look, which some of them I love and some of them I'm kind of iffy on. So when I saw that it got rebranded into this edition, and then her second book in the series, Brimstone, comes out in November, and it's also in the same situation, but instead of having the silver edges, it has kind of this burnt gold orange edges. I figured now would be the time to try out the series. I have just heard so many things about this book. I know nothing about this book. I don't know anything about the magic system or the fantasy or the characters, and I kind of want to keep it that way. I kind of want to go into it blind. I don't know why. Sometimes I want to do that with books and sometimes I don't. Yeah, I just have heard great things about this book. I feel like everyone who reads it absolutely loves it, and I'm just excited to get into another fantasy series. And that was all the books that I have for the fall time. I did just read one really cute fall romance called It's Different This Time, which I'm gonna do a review on next. I'm basically just gonna turn the camera off and turn it right back on. Obviously, I got a lot of books, but I didn't go as crazy as I did for the summertime. Intentionally, I didn't go as crazy because I didn't get through like a third of the books that I bought for this summer that I'll be saving for next summer, and I just didn't want to do that with fall books because fall isn't really my season. I didn't want to have a bunch of books left over, and I honestly think I will end up reading these before the end of the year. Y'all, I am at 70 books for this year, and I can't believe that I've read that much. That might be a ton or not very much depending on how fast you read, but for me that's a lot. Normally I only read 50 books per year, and so I really think that I'm gonna hit 100, which means that I have about 30 books left. So I think I will definitely get these 9 done, and then I have a few books on my physical TBR that I want to get through, and then I have about 5 or 6 Christmas books that I want to read in December. So yes, we will see if I can get to 100 books this year, which would be so crazy for me. But I've just had such a good reading year. I was talking to my mom about this, that I have read so many good books this year. I've had more 5 stars this year than I ever have, and I think that has to do with reading more books. I have more chances to get a 5 star, but I've just read such good books this year, and it's been a really, really great reading year. And I honestly have Sarah J Maas to thank for that because I just finished the Crescent City series. Oh my gosh, I loved Crescent City, and I know people are kind of iffy on it, but I ate it up. I loved it. I cannot wait for the next Avatar book to come out, and obviously I read Throne of Glass earlier this year, so Sarah J Maas, you gave me a great reading year. Thank you very much. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and film that book review now, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!